Good afternoon, people. You are very welcome back to episode 12 of Chats with BTD. I am delighted to be joined by striker Kyle Robinson, who's a former player with Arbroath FC and Drogheda United. Kyle, welcome. It's good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
How are you keeping?
I'm alright, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Look, really appreciate you taking out your time. How's life? I know you've recently been in Scotland and stuff like that, so...
Yeah, it's been obviously a little bit different. Obviously, I would have been used to a Christmas break, so this obviously now having a bit of a summer break is a little bit different to me. Obviously been there from January to May, so I came back only about 2 weeks ago, and then it is kind of new to me. Obviously, as I said, Christmas to summer break, it's quite different, but obviously your holidays are a bit more of a variety now to go elsewhere rather than your Canaries in the winter, so it's actually alright, like.
Taking the plus sides over, yeah?
Yeah.
And how would you sum up the season as a whole then?
Not how I would have wanted it to go, if I'm completely honest. Obviously, being there was great, you know, living on my own, experiencing your cooking, your cleaning, your washing, you know, things I probably couldn't do before I left, like obviously living at home and stuff. But no, it was definitely, you know, probably needed a go maybe to kickstart going over there, but look, that is positives for me, and the experience alone of doing all that stuff over there definitely benefited to my personal side and my footballing side.
Yeah, I always say that I think life is the best lesson. Even from anything, like if you're doing any, like even for what we do, I always find like people say, oh, how did you do this? But it's like you experience it, you relish the challenge, and you just learn from your mistakes or learn as you go. So that's what I find is great about life, I suppose.
Yeah, no, definitely it was one of them like where you were going over, it was a new challenge. I had options here to stay. I could have stayed at Drogheda, and I don't have any regrets in life. And obviously, like looking back on it, yeah, you could have stayed, could have been comfortable in where you were doing well, playing. But I always want that new challenge, and always wanting to go and excel. And obviously, some of the stadiums, the players you are playing against, like calibre of coaches, managers, like it was definitely a lot bigger than the platform I probably would have been on to where I was for the last 6 months. Like,
I think that's even great that you mentioned that, because it kind of strikes me that you are willing to, I suppose, step out of your comfort zone and, you know, take on a new challenge, because as they say, there's no growth in the comfort zone. So I think you might even look back and say it could be 5 or 10 years and you might go, right, well, that kind of stood to me in a way, you know, that took away.
No, I mean, like as I stand now, I'm kind of thinking like last 6 months was probably not how I would have wanted it to go, especially from the previous 6 months I had a drop, I'd done well, scored goals, which is obviously why I got the move off the back of that 6 months. But obviously now this 6 months wasn't how I wanted it to go, but I'll definitely kick on again. Like, it's not a problem. Like, I know I can score goals, and it's football, so it's definitely a lesson, but it's a positive lesson as well. I'm not going to look at it as a negative.
Brilliant. What I do with most of my guests, just fire through a few quick fire questions. Sweet. So it's basically one or the other. If you want to elaborate on some of them as well, why you've picked the answer, we'll do that as well. Right. And then we'll get cracking into the whole kind of your background and your journey to date. Is that fair?
Perfect, yeah.
So, false nine or target man?
Target man.
Why are you saying that now?
I would say my game wouldn't be... It's something I'm working on actually, is into feet.
Okay.
I'm rather, I know I'm big, but I'd rather, I'm quick, like, so I go down the sides, and that's more of my game, like, and stick it in the box and I'll score goals, but to feet will be definitely my B side, like.
Yeah, that's good that you're working on it though. Drugs or Pats?
I'll say drugs, because I was there when I was 15 for my first year and a bit of League of Ireland. And then obviously Pats came in, and it was probably one of them where growing up you're kind of thinking like, oh, loads of family in around the Lucan area, they all kind of support them, you want to go there. And then obviously, look, you end up going back to Drogheda, and that was what probably kicked on again, like, obviously because I knew Kev personally, I knew Dara Doyle personally, like, so I'd say drugs, but Pat's close second.
Okay, yeah. A city break or a sun holiday?
Sun,
yeah.
I do like a city break, like, I've been on... Now, granted, I've only been to Liverpool twice for a city, but I've been to Paris as well. I went with my missus, like, but the sun is for me. Like,
you can't beat it. We have plenty of it today.
That's what I'm saying.
I've fact that 50 on the last bleeding week or two. World Cup or Champions League? So that could be, I suppose, from a fan's point of view, or, you know, even if you were a player, I'd say.
I'd love to say World Cup. Right. I would. But like, if you're thinking maybe realistic, like, I'd say Champions League.
And in terms of watching them, what do you prefer?
If Ireland were in it?
Yeah, or just in general. What do you think is a better competition like?
Champions League. I think it's just carnage. I mean, you look at the first leg of both semi-finals. I think there was 14 goals scored between the two games, like in the first leg. So I just think it's just a crazy game, like Champions League.
It's on every year as well, so that helps. Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Yeah.
Yeah, no question.
What are you saying, Steve? You a CR7 man or what?
Ronaldo. Yeah, it's a no question for me.
Pre or post match meal, so I suppose that would say, like, what would you prefer? I suppose you have a bit more of a leniency after.
Like, obviously a post match meal can, like, if you were in Pats or if you're in Shells, it would be like your wraps or your burritos and your healthy stuff straight after the game, and then if you're in Drogheda, it'd be a nice pizza after the game. So like, I'd probably say pre, but depending on, I prefer, when I was in Ireland, I preferred the pre-match because it was like a dinner, close enough to a dinner. And then I'm not really a breakfast man, but in Arbroath it would have been, it's close enough to a breakfast, so it's your eggs and maybe your tuna, a bit of salad, maybe stuff like that. So I would probably say post anyways.
Yeah, that's mad. I'm not a big breakfast eater either.
No.
See, when I was a kid and I played, I like banana and water.
Yeah, I don't like that as well. I don't like it.
Like.
Yeah, it's not for me now, breakfast. And even now, like, I could be sitting on a Saturday and doing nothing, and I'd say I'm not eating breakfast, so I just skip it and go straight to lunch. Like.
Yeah, it's mad. Right, last one. Tolka Park or Richmond Park?
Richmond Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comfortably.
Right, Kylo, we'll get into it. Suppose, describe yourself, you know, your football background, where you come from, and we'll just take it from there.
I was born in Lucan. I've been there most of my life. I originally started off in Esker Celtic, which is my local club. I was there for maybe 4 or 5 years, and then I went to Kevin's actually for 2 years, and then it was like a Saturday Sunday team, so I was kind of like, right, well, we're gonna have to kind of make one. So I didn't actually make that one team. So I said, right, I don't want to drop down and play major. I felt I was at the level to play Premier, so I went to Home Farm then for 2 years, done well there, went on a few trips and that was good. And then I moved on to Cherry Orchard, where I spent probably a good bit of my time. And then obviously a lot of lads were kind of breaking into your League of Ireland early stages, your 13s, 14s, and I didn't feel like I was ready to go then. Like, I know a lot of lads jumped ship. A lot of lads went to the UK and stuff like that, so I just said, no, I'm going to stay. And I ended up going to Leixlip then, playing with a lot of good players then who would have went on for big money moves even now. And then obviously won a couple of things there, won the league, won the All-Ireland. And then I was just actually playing against Pats in a friendly with Leixlip. And just a fella then was just speaking to my dad then after the game and just said, look, we want to bring him up to Drogheda, see what he thinks. Went up there and I just signed then with Drogheda for about 1.5 years. And I would say after about maybe 6 months I was training with the 19s probably every evening, and then after about another 2 months I don't think I kicked the ball for 17s with Drogheda. I was playing with 19s with Drogheda, and then I was training with the first team then most nights. I travelled to 2 or 3 games with the first team at 16. And then obviously Pats then came in. Jamie Moore would have been the one who would have approached me first, but it was the 2 managers at Drogheda at the time was John Donoghue and Niall Cully.
Yeah,
they were the ones. Well. So they were the ones who would have left Drogheda to go to Pats, and then brought me with them then. And then, I mean, again, didn't play really. I won the 17s league, but played when they kind of needed me. But most of the time I was playing 19s. And then 18, then obviously just turned 18, just signed the contract with Pats then. And my first year, it's a bit of a funny one, like my first year was obviously just done pre-season, and that was grand. And the gaffer was great, like Stephen O'Donnell was great, loved him, like. And obviously I would have signed it with the likes of Keane Cobley and Keane Kelly and stuff, like. So as amateurs alone, we would have like just brought it through, and we were the lucky 4 that went through, or in Dara Burns as well. So it was I think it was the last day of the window of the pre-season that year, and we were in the group, just Gaffer was talking about, you know, whatever, we had friendly the next day or whatever, and he was like, look lads, I want to congratulate Kyle on his move to Wexford. And I was just like, what?
You didn't even know?
I hadn't a clue.
No way.
That was great. Look, do you know what I mean? Like, in the time I was like, oh no, don't leave Pats. I've been here for 2 years. Don't want to go. Love it. Like, fancy me chances, you know, go and break in maybe. But like Stevie texts me nearly every day, like, onto me how he getting on. He's watching games. And I mean, Wexford was definitely a positive. Like, I know they were bottom of the table. We finished bottom of the table, but I finished second top goal scorer in the league at 18. I think I had 11 goals or something in 17 starts. So it was definitely a positive in the sense for, you know, you're thinking you're leaving Pats, who would have been second probably, and then you're thinking, oh, that's a league down. You're bottom of the table. Is it going to work out? But look, it did work out in the end, and I came back then after the season, and obviously Stephen O'Donnell had moved on. And before the new manager was announced, they wanted to offer me another 2-year deal extension. And I kind of said to them, look, I'll wait till a new gaffer comes in, I'll see what the crack is, and I'll go from there. So obviously then Tim Clancy came in, so I didn't end up signing the new deal. I just kind of said I had the option to sign it whenever, so I just kind of just parked it to the side a little bit. And obviously he had brought in players like Tunde, who was doing well for Finn Harps, Owen Doyle, obviously who he knew himself personally, so kind of felt like
top pro,
a good pro, so I kind of felt like I don't want to go on loan again. I would rather kind of fancy myself to try and learn off these lads, try and progress at such a young age, 18, 19. And they were kind of like between January and the window, look, just like Cork, we're in for you, they want to bring you on loan, but for half a season, they're top of the table, like you'll get a winner's medal, you go up straight away, blah blah blah. So I just said to them, look, listen, it's far from home. I said, you know, the wage I wasn't going to be able to manage, like, with the wage and stuff going up and down, travelling and stuff. So I just said, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to try and fight and break through. And I trained then every day. I done well. I didn't kick a ball for, I'd say, maybe 2 months, 3 months of the first bit of the season. But on a Sunday, I'd play with the 19s.
Okay.
But at that stage then, I was 20. And I felt like this is easy. Like, I had something like 15 goals in 6 games or something, like hat-tricks every second game. And it was just getting boring. Like,
a lot of match balls in the gap.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but it was just one of them where, like, the team was so strong. Like, that 19s team had, like, Josh Keeley, Keane Corbley, me, Keane Kelly, Sam Curtis. And we were all the lads who refused to go on loan. Well, you have to play 19s. So the team was just ridiculously strong.
Too strong, yeah.
So we were just thumping teams, beating Rovers 5-1, like, silly wins, like, shouldn't beat them that score, but you did. And then obviously I was on the bench for most games, but didn't really kick a ball. And then we were 3-0 up at home to Drogheda, or away to Drogheda actually. I know Drogheda fans will probably look at this and go, fucking age of him, like. But we obviously played them, we're 3-0 up, and I'm thinking, as I did every game, I never said to myself, I'd never come off disappointed if I didn't play, because it was one of them where don't expect to play. So then when he kind of did give me the nod, like, right, let's go, you're coming on, I think it was like the 88 minutes, so I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm not going to do anything here, 2 minutes left, like, no. Yeah. I come on then, first touch of the ball, 30 seconds in, I scored a goal, like.
Some feeling, I'd say.
Yeah, like, I know Drogheda fans will definitely hate it, because I ran straight to the away end and just straight into them, so. But it was definitely one of them where, like, unbelievable feeling. And then I went on to play 3 or 4 games off the bench, back to back. And then the 6-month mark kind of came, and Shells, Damien Duff obviously got on to me and was like, look, listen, we want to bring you in now, is it possible? I said, look, I don't know, you'll have to try and speak to them, see what they're saying. So I kind of just spoke to the gaffer and spoke to the staff and said, look, listen, can I leave? I said, there's a chance for me to go and play in Shells. And no, we can't let you go, like, we refuse to let you go. And I said, look, I'm only getting 5 minutes here and there, like, I'm better off going, playing. I said, let me go on loan then. No, we can't let you go on loan unless it's Northern Ireland, unless it's 4th Division, because we don't want to come up against you.
Okay.
So I was just like, right, grand, it is what it is. So Duffer just kept in contact with me for bits and time, in and out, like, here and there. So I didn't end up playing for the first team after that, because I had went to them and said to them, can I leave? So I kind of just shot myself in the foot a little bit with that one, like, but I didn't end up playing 19s even, so it was just one of them where I just had to just keep training every day, just we're full time anyway, so just worked hard. And then the end of the season came, then took a holiday, and then met up with Duffer, came out to me gaff, and it was just one of them where Mountain fancied what he said, it was, looked, sounded good, seeing where he wanted to go, and that's how that move really came about, like.
Yeah, just to touch back a small bit there, you kind of said even when you were in your teens, when you were playing, that you didn't feel like you were ready to, you know, move to the next step. And then I suppose what I kind of grasped from you is that you're someone that is kind of, you know, you have that kind of self-awareness to go, right, well, I don't think I'm ready for this step. And then I suppose that's you as a teen, but then I suppose on the flip side of that, then when you're not getting game time then at Pats, you're going, well, I don't want to be playing 5 minutes. Like, what do you think? How important do you think that is? That's a question I suppose I should ask you.
It's obviously extremely important to realise where you're at in your, as a person in life, and as a footballer as well. Like, I think a lot of people can kind of get, I'd say social media is a massive thing. Like, you see boys with, like, wanting to be public, wanting to apply for blue ticks. I can be public, I can apply for the blue tick, but I choose not to, because it's just like, what's the point? It's a blue tick. It doesn't have...
It's mad that people actually pay for that as well.
And they pay for it like 18 quid a month or something. It's crazy, it's nuts.
Oh my God.
But I mean, like, it's just one of them where, like, that stuff has an effect on people as people, as their own personality, like, can change. And I've seen it in Pats, I've seen it in Shells. I haven't seen it in Drogheda, to be fair, because I think the lads are a little bit older, more mature, whereas kind of in Shells and Pats there's that age difference where there's so young, so old, and then middle. So I definitely think, like, realising where you are in your career is important, because if you don't think you're ready to go and you go, you could end up 4 steps back. And then I think if you stay where you are, realise, right, not yet, take your time, then go. It's important, because all of a sudden then, a bit like me, I stayed where I was, and then all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 steps to look ahead then, and it's like, right, well, let's go from here then. It's actually worked out alright. But definitely even from me, like, it's not as easy as I'm making it sound. It is difficult, because, like, I find it difficult to even sit and think, like, oh, what's next? I'm always like, what's next? Where, like, you know, loads of people go to me, just relax, like, just stay where you are. Like, there's no need to, like, even now I find it terrible. I'm like, I know I'm training myself, but I'm like, I need routine. I need to be able to do stuff, and wanting to get up and do stuff every day. Like, and even my missus at home, she'd be giving out to me all the time, saying, like, you know, like, sit down, relax. Like, you're always 90 miles an hour. Like, relax. But I can't. That's just who I am. Like, I need to be go, go, go.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that now myself, I have to say. So yeah, that's it. That's interesting though that you mentioned the blue ticks thing. I'm a bit kind of, what would you say, intrigued about that, because I wouldn't even describe it kind of as a using the blue tick as a kind of, what would you say, a thing to go off in terms of how people can go kind of down the wrong path. But I've seen it kind of many a times where people step into a first team environment, or they, you know, even make their first senior appearance, and they think, that's me.
Yeah, I would say,
and they think that they're
yeah, they think that they're,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely think, like, especially like young boys, like, and obviously I grew up as a young boy playing in a good league at a good level, first team football league, but I was never interested in your blue ticks. And I definitely, honestly, if people got rid of social media tomorrow, like, I think it's the best thing that can ever happen, like, because it's just like, it can be the relation of people. And don't get me wrong, for businesses, for football one-on-ones and stuff like that, it's amazing, because it's like, it drags people in, it makes them look at the stuff, and it's amazing. But I just think, like,
on a personal
note, it can definitely, like, drag you down, because not only has it does have a massive positive effect, but it also has, I would say, there's definitely more negatives in it than positives, like, and that's the problem, like.
Yeah, no, look, I think that's a great message that you touched on, and hopefully some of our listeners and viewers, when the podcast does get released, you know, they take it on board. You mentioned a couple of managers there, like O'Donnell and Duffer and stuff. How what was your experience like, kind of working, like, under them?
Yeah, like, O'Donnell was great. Like, I mean, obviously I came in every Thursday morning, so we would have trained with Wexford on a Monday, Wednesday, and I went in on a Thursday, because I didn't want to be kind of left out, because they were off on a Wednesday, so, and I couldn't really do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, game Friday, because that'd be too much on me. So I always wanted to come in on a Thursday and do extras, like, but he's definitely, from what, like, the lads have said, like, obviously I know Josh Keeley didn't go out on loan, Keane Corby didn't go out on loan, so they were probably there every day. But even from what they were saying about him, like, it was like, everything is like detail, and if you don't walk, like, you won't play. That's just how he rolled, like, and it was definitely, I'd say, playing under him, I'd say, was a privilege, because Pats, I know at the time, they weren't doing amazing, but they worked hard every single game, like, and you'd never see one of them coming off the pitch. I don't think after any game he could ever turn around and say, like, he didn't work hard enough. Yeah, they might have fell short with wins, but definitely hard working. Like, and he's different. But and then obviously you had likes of Duffer, like, you know what I mean. He's just
like you mentioned there. You came out there gaff and stuff like that. Is that a general thing that managers and coaches would do?
No, I've never had it before. Like, and obviously I don't know how he would roll. I'm not sure. But I mean, like, obviously I wasn't driving at the time, so he'd asked me to meet somewhere else, and I said to him, look, I can meet you there, like, so I get the bus or whatever. Like, he just kind of messed me back saying, you're not driving. I was just like, no. So then he said, well, I'll come out to your gaff, is there anyone there? And I said, yeah, no one's here, like, so come on over. And he's made him a cup of tea, and I was just sitting down and chatting to him, like, but even from the time we went in, it was just like, we were in pre-season from the 12th of December. So most teams don't go back, I'd say, until January.
Yeah, I heard that. So that was when he first took over, was it?
The second time. The second time. So I think that he was like that as well with them before.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
So I was kind of thinking, like, that was kind of in and around where I kind of had me holidays planned and stuff. So I was just kind of like, I messaged him.
I hope I get away with this here.
So I said to him, look, I'm away. And he messaged me back and was like, well, we're in pre-season. This date, do what you want. So I kind of went, right, I said to her, right, we'll change it. I said, I'm not missing pre-season, there's no chance. So anyways, done pre-season, and it was...
sorry to cut across you, but that's a message in itself, isn't it? Do what you want, exclamation mark, like, I have to cancel that.
Just cancel, like, that's like saying, you'd rather him say no. They have to be there, like, so I just kind of went, yeah, right, grand, I'll be there now. But I was going to be there regardless, so I just kind of hoping it wouldn't collide, but it did, and I was going to do it anyways. And I ended up actually saving money changing it, so it's actually worked out a win-win. But pre-season was tough, like, obviously with the amount of games, because he would have made the squad big enough between the 19s and the first team to do 2 games a day.
Right.
So one squad would play at 12 o'clock in the morning, and then the other squad would travel in the evening to go and play another game. So everybody was getting fitness, where it wasn't like some players wouldn't get game time or they might get 10 minutes. So yeah, it was brilliant, like. And then obviously the season kicked off, like, and we done, like, the lads done well, to be fair. Like, the first 6 months was like a bit of a tricky one, like, for me, even because every day in training, like, you're working hard and stuff, and you're kind of like, right, you want to play. But I mean, look, he has his reasons for not playing people, and I stand by him, because I think he is an unbelievable manager with his standards, and that's all it comes down to in this league. And there's a reason why the top of the league, it's standards, because from being in the Pats environment and from being in a Drogheda environment, there is standards in there too, but his level of standards is like, right, well, I've played for Chelsea for years and years, and I'm just going to bring this exact what I've done there straight to here. And it's why the lads, but you have to buy into what he wants, and if you don't buy into it, you'll be left behind. And like, I was kind of one of them by the start, where like I was kind of going like, oh, I'm in and out here, I'm in and out, there's obviously a reason I'm not playing. So I kind of went to him, spoke to him, he said, look, just keep working hard, you need to work your ass off every single day, no matter what. You cannot have a bad day when you're playing for him, like, that's just the way it is. And obviously then I played a couple of games, and I kind of had a bit of a nightmare even playing for Shells, I'd say, because I'd say I hit the post the most times in a season. I swear to God, like, really? I think I hit the post 6 games in a row, and none of the game, I've started 1 game in the 6 games, so I was coming off the bench thinking like, right, I'll score here, that'll give me a boost for the next game. No, post the whole time. It was just killing me.
No rubber to green.
And then when I played in the cup games, I couldn't stop scoring. I scored in every cup. And then when I played in the league, I couldn't score. Post every single time. It was just killing me. And then obviously you left there then in the summer, then kind of Kev had reached out and said, look, listen, Freddie Draper's gone. We want you to come in and play and be our number 9, like. So I mean, I was sold straight away. I mean, like, go play every week, you know, there's an opportunity to go and play. I know Kev personally from when I was at Drogheda, like, so I said, happy days, I'll go in and play, like. And obviously going there, I mean, I didn't look back in the slightest, like. Like, Drogheda they say they're a part-time team, but they train 3 or 4 nights a week, like, so it's just because they can't obviously afford to play players to quit that personal job, so. But every night we train from 6 o'clock until probably to go to 9 o'clock, like, so you'd leave then, and you do gym, you do the pitch, like, so even at that and the detail we go into in training. And again, like, try to stay up every year comfortably, because they're just a hard working team, and like,
that fan base is really good,
incredible, like, incredible. And I love the club to bits, like, absolutely loved it. And like, I just think playing there is like, not like playing in Shells, not like playing in Pats, like, and it's just a different atmosphere.
Family kind of unit, is it?
Yeah, lad, it definitely is, like. And even I definitely think, like, with the older boys there as well, like, I kind of
Deegan and stuff.
Yeah, like, going into that team, I was kind of thinking like, oh, like my dad worked with Deegan like in the post, and I was kind of thinking like, oh, he's not the one I kind of want to like maybe be close with, but I actually ended up being
really close,
like really close to him, like, and it was just like even playing under him is just amazing, and the way that he would like coach players in training, like he'd pull you aside, he pulled me aside every single day, and I wouldn't even think I'm doing anything wrong. I could think, oh, I've had a good session there, like he'd just take me aside, right, do this, and you could see then on a Friday night, like most Friday nights I'm quite a hot tempo, like as he will be as well. So we kind of end up kind of saying to each other, like having a fucking go off each other a little bit. So it was just one of them then, and after the game then he'd be hugging me, and like
that's football though.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I mean, even the games that we were playing in, like on a Friday night, like I'd score a goal and he'd be the last one to celebrate with me, and he'd batter me. He'd just slap me across the head, shake me head all over the place, like. But I remember even my first goal, it was away to Kerry, and it was we were thinking long drive. You're thinking in the cup, you don't want Kerry, it's terrible. It's awful. It's like a hockey pitch, like. And we're thinking long drive, not what you want. And he's in my ear the whole way up in the bus. You're gonna score tonight. I'm like, all right, Deegan, yeah, just trying to sugar him off a little bit, like. And then obviously 4 minutes in, I've scored, like, and he's just grabbed me, and I mean, he threw me to the floor, like. But he's a great character, and I mean, even other lads, like, I'm missing out loads, like, you've got Ryan Brennan, Adam Foley, the older boys, just quality, like, just leaders, like, that's all they are, and that's how they carry players, like, younger boys, even middle-aged boys, and the gaffer alone sometimes wouldn't even have to coach the team in a game, or
players are doing it themselves.
They're just doing it themselves, like, and I think that's why, like, I know that Night at the moment, and obviously Galway and Waterford who come up as strong, but I think, like, they'll stay up comfortably. But they always kind of every season they have that bit of a shaky 4-6 months, and then the second month then they just seem to kick on, like.
I'm interested about the standards, so I'm just going to touch back a small bit on, you mentioned, the standards were there at Pats, but the standards were kind of just the next level with Duffer, and I think it's really interesting you say even kind of in pre-season where, there was a squad for the morning and then there was a squad for the evening, so can you put your finger on a certain little detail or a certain little standard that, kind of differs probably Duffer from the rest, and why he's kind of doing so well at Shields?
I just think the massive thing I think for him as a manager and Joey as well, and Davy Mack, and like everybody buys into what they do. Like if he says jump, like you say how high. And that's just kind of what it is. Like I mean, training, you're in for a specific time, you have to do your prehab, you have to then go out, get changed into your gear, train for, I would honestly say, the guts of 2.5 hours on the pitch, like.
Really?
So your first 2 hours will be, hour 45, 2 hours will be like, you're blown. Do not stop running in this session, like, and it'd be all, I wouldn't even mind, there's no runs, it's just all ball. But it's just boom, tempo, and if there's tempo, like, he'll have a go off anybody if there's no tempo, like, I mean, even from if a 3-yard pass that you should make in a rondo, if you're not doing that, he's on you, like.
He'll let you know about it.
Like, and that's just the type of manager he is. But I mean, even again, I'll go back to you buy into it. If you buy into it, you'll do well. And I think there was times, don't get me wrong, I didn't buy into it. And as the time went on, if you weren't playing, you're thinking like, why am I buying into this? And then I kind of said to myself, no, like you have to buy into it. And then when I started buying into it, then I started playing more, I started starting games, then I was coming off of the bench for 30 minutes, and then as time then kind of fizzled out, then I kind of said, no, I need to be playing every week. If I want to get to where I want to get to, I need to play every week then. So, but I definitely think as his staff as well, like it's not just him, his staff are amazing. Like Davy Mack, after every session would stay back with me and they'll finish in 20 minutes, 25 minutes every single day. Joey O'Brien would take the defenders and do 30 minutes just crossing balls, defend, like, and that's why they conceded so little goals last season and this season as well, like, is because they just work on specifics all the time and in detail.
Yeah, as we were speaking there about Duffer and his standards and stuff like that, you mentioned like being in training and stuff and buying into what they do and the standards and stuff like that. How difficult is it when coaches or managers, I suppose especially Duffer, want you to buy into it, but your game time is limited? I
think like maturity as well. I know I was 20, but like you're thinking like, there is that bit of pressure, don't get me wrong, of like, oh, Damien Duff wants you, like, oh, like, you know, he's a big name, when he comes knocking, you can't really tone it down. But like, on a personal note with him, I think like, he spoke to me loads of times in training. Like, he'd message me and say like, you're the best finisher in the club. He said it in multiple interviews after games. But I think like, I should have bought into it maybe more. But like, obviously then, you know, the team was quite like a family, and if you didn't really fit in, then it was just kind of like, right, you're kind of on the outskirts a little bit. Like, and I think like, for me personally, the Shells lads were great. Like, there was a lot of leaders and a lot of lads I got along with. But like, me personally, outside of the team, I didn't really like gel with them a lot, because like, I'd say most times they would want like a night out. A lot of times, I'd say maybe a couple of months, maybe they want 3 or 4 nights, and I don't really drink. I don't drink at all. Like, so like, for me, going on the nights out was a waste. Difficult. Like, and it was difficult for me, because I'm kind of sitting here like, they're all drunk, they're all talking.
There's no worse. No,
so I'm sitting there kind of going like where do I belong here? And like, what's the crack like? But especially, I think like, I probably should have given it a bit more of a go, probably with even the lads on the team as well, maybe like, and look, maybe he's seen that, maybe he's seen, look, maybe he doesn't really fit in with the lads, like, but that's football and that's fine, like, but then you go to a Drogheda then, and them lads, I talk to most lads every day, like, and they're like a family, like, and I love them all to bits, like.
Yeah, that's brilliant. You've obviously played in Scotland, you're obviously just at there coming home and stuff like that. I'm interested to know, what's the difference between, you know, playing here and then playing over in Scotland in the Championship?
Like, obviously, when Arbroath came in, it was very late. And probably a lot of people don't know that when I left Drogheda in November, I was over in Newport for a week. I was just kind of one of them where like, Podium kind of just said to me like, there's interest from Newport, you want to go over and have a look at it, see what you think? And I said, alright, grand. So I go over, and after 2 days then they said to me, look, we want to sign you. So I was thinking like, oh, this is great, like League 2, like dream, happy days. So they put me on a programme then, so like, that's how serious it was. They had me on a programme throughout Christmas, and I'm thinking like, happy days, like, this is going to get done in January. But they then said to me, look, we need to wait for the new owners to come in. Once the new owners come in, your deal will be there and we'll sign it and off you go. And obviously I'm thinking happy days, so I'm thinking, next game, you know, you've got, I think it was like Exile or something, I'm not sure, or like Exeter City maybe in the FA Cup. I could make my debut against them. So that game passed, I'm thinking, right, who are they playing next in the Cup? Man United. I'm thinking, could make my debut against United, like this is crazy. But no, obviously then it kept going on, they kept pushing it out, so I just had to just kind of say to them, look, listen, it's the 27th or 28th or something of January, window closed in 3 days, I can go back to Drogheda, or I sign for Newport. There was no concrete interest from anywhere else. And he said, look, listen, we can't actually get it done, the owners are not going to come in until February, I'm sorry about that, we can't get it done. So I kind of felt like, in the dumps here, like, gotta go back to Drogheda now, like, stuff will probably be reduced, like, struggling, like, and I didn't really want to do that, and because I do love Drogheda, like, the gaffer was amazing, like for me personally, the best I've worked under, like, as a personal player relationship with a coach, like, and the club was great, like, but I mean, 2 days later then, I'm at a 21st, and I get a phone call about maybe 10 o'clock, how you doing, you're going to sign for Arbroath, and I was like, alright, okay, why?
Another spanner in the works, what?
Right, so I'm thinking like, right, okay, I knew there was interest, but there was nothing like concrete, so this was on a Friday night, and he was like, look, this is the contract, there you go, what you think? And I was kind of thinking, yeah, 6 months, that's nice for me, because I didn't want to sign any longer, because I didn't actually have enough time to look into it. What were they like, what was the area, I didn't have any time, so I said, like, 6 months, just get it done, see what you think, like. And then they said to me, do you want to fly tonight? I said, why?
Not 24th there.
Like, I said to him, why? And he said, well, you're in the squad for tomorrow if you can get over, like. And I said, right, he said, I'll give you the gaffer's number. He said, look, do you want to fly tonight or do you want to fly in the morning? So I said, I'm at 10 o'clock at night, I'm not flying tonight. I said, I won't make it to Dublin Airport. I said, so he said, right, 6 a.m, get on the flight the next day. I said, alright, that's grand, no worries. And I mean, from there then, I was in the squad the next day. I came on after 20 minutes. Like, so,
that's mental.
Like, we played against Ayr. Yeah. So you're playing against players like McGeady. Scott Brown was the gaffer. So you're thinking, like, I'm only off a flight, I'd say about an hour. and you're in the match day squad. I haven't met anybody. I haven't met the gaffer, assistants, like staff, players. I'm walking in, alright lads. Yeah, how the fuck are you? Like, that was just crazy, one of them. Man. Like, so no one knows like stuff like that. And then obviously it was a bit of a. Again, I didn't really know like training, how many nights a week they trained. I knew they were part-time, but like everything was just a bit of a up in the air a little bit, like and I kind of knew it was probably a step I had to take. I would have loved to stay in Drogheda, don't get me wrong, but that was kind of something you couldn't have turned your nose at. Playing the Scottish champ, you're playing against certain teams like your Dundee Uniteds, your Inverness, like your Ayres, your Ardronians, Patrick Thistle, like your Queen's Park. You're thinking like, this is great, like, so it's something you couldn't really turn down. But it was definitely something looking back, like on a personal note, like as I said before, I don't have any regrets. But like I probably maybe would have considered doing stuff different. But I mean, even at the end of it, like, you know, they were interested in like next season and stuff, but you know, the apartment was gone, living over there, so it's just kind of like, it's just not for me, like, so hence why now I'm obviously free agent, etc. So
how difficult is it playing abroad? So I know Scotland is quite close, but still in all, it's not home, as you've said about cooking and you know, everything else that comes with it. How difficult is it?
No, it's definitely
for a younger Clive Robinson.
Like if I was looking at it a couple of years ago, I probably would have said like, I don't know if I'm even ready to go, like, you know. But now don't get me wrong, if it came up a couple of years ago, I would have went anyways, regardless if I was ready or not, because it's something that any young person cannot turn down if the option comes up for you, like. But definitely for me personally, I mean, I couldn't cook, I couldn't clean, I couldn't wash, I couldn't iron, I couldn't do anything. So going over there was like a new experience. I'm thinking, right, you're going shopping on a Monday, you're going to shop for the week, like, what are you cooking here, what are you cooking there, like, so it was definitely like
an eye opener.
Yeah, like, and it definitely helped me. Even to now, I'm like, well, if I go again, it's like
Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen,
you know what I mean, like, and I do be cooking everything, like, and it was just definitely an eye opener, as you said, like, for if I was 5 years younger, or if I'm going to be 5 years older and going again, it's something that would just come second nature to me, because I've learned, and I just wanted to learn. I suppose I had to, didn't I? I was on my own, so.
Yeah. That's brilliant though. I actually really like that, because we've had a few guests on now and they said similar. Like, I remember Chris Forrester said the same. He's like, couldn't even make toast and all, you know. So it is interesting to hear that from players. What's your approach in terms of managers or coaches, right? I'm interested to know as well. Like, is Kyle Robinson the type of person that is the arm around the shoulder, or is it the kick up the backside type of thing that kind of gets you in gear?
Like, in Pats, it was obviously like underage. Like, you obviously had like your John, Jamie, and Niall, and you have Mark Kenny as well with the 17s. Like, they were quite, I suppose they didn't really have to be up your arse, I suppose, because the team was so good. So it was always like arm around the shoulder, like, everyone's doing brilliant, like, well done. Then it was kind of the first team. Then was like, again, most people I'd say were like arm around the shoulder, like, and don't get me wrong, for me, I definitely am like, if I'm doing bad, like, yeah, have a go at me, but like, also say like, oh, you're doing really well, like, just keep going. And then I kind of just flip. So like, it's just kind of weird, like, with that for me, like. But with Duffer then as well, it was kind of like, no, there was no arm around the shoulder. There isn't, with anybody, there's no, it's just like everyone's, regardless if you are scoring 4 goals a game, you're getting kicked up the backside no matter what. But with Kev, it was always an arm around the shoulder, like. And I think like in the clubs I've been out in Shells, like, I've excelled. Like, I've scored goals in the League of Ireland First Division. Again, I had Ian Ryan there. He was an arm around the shoulder, like, even now, I still chat to him now, like. But I'm definitely an arm around the shoulder, man. Like, to be honest, I do wish I was the other way. But like, maybe that's why I would get along with most people, because I would say I'm quite friendly to most people, like, so as well. So it kind of helps me.
I think it's a generational type of thing though as well.
Can be.
We see it with players as well that we obviously coach on the daily or the weekly. And it's, I don't know, and I suppose generational things are just there, so you just have to just take it as it is. You know what I mean?
To be fair,
what's life outside of football look for Kyle Robinson?
I don't, like, you know, I used to get stick in Drogheda because
You don't gargle?
The lads just used to call me a spoofer because I'd come in at Carpool, like, would just be like, are you doing that with your day call now? Just lying around and then come and train. Yeah, some life you have, like. But I chose not to work, and that's like, regardless of the wage, whether it was like 100 quid a week or whether it was 500 quid a week, I would be like, I am just all
for football.
And granted, I'm not amazing in the brains department, so that's probably either why I can't exactly go and get a nice job. But then I'd say about October last year, I was just kind of just chatting with myself and my girlfriend and our dad and stuff, and just kind of thinking like, oh, where do I kind of, I'm doing well in Drogheda, like, you know, things are looking up. And then I was thinking, right, well, you're not getting paid from the end of November, December, and then pre-season, you're going into pre-season getting paid then. So Christmas is always a difficult time, I think, for footballers, especially in the League of Ireland, if you're not on a 52-week contract. So we kind of came up with the idea of, a bit like yourselves, like the one-on-one coaching with, as I call it, it's RoadToGlory, and I do it based out of Lucan and Nice.
Oh, brilliant.
Now, most of my clients are in Nice.
Okay.
So that I just kind of kickstarted that up. But I'd say I got most of the clientele and built it up so much because I'm kind of known in the League of Ireland, and kind of kids are like that, kind of look up to you. You know, and a lot of people are doing it. I know Chris Forrest has gone in in Birmingham, they're doing it as well. But again, like, they'd obviously have a lot more of experience than I would because they're bigger names than I would be. But again, in so many years' time, I'd like to be where they are. But I mean, I coached then, I would have been doing... it was a bit of a mad one before I even went away. I was kind of like, I kind of fit my days around my clients, which I probably shouldn't have done that because I was kind of travelling between Lucan and Nice. I might have a session at 12 o'clock, then I won't have until 5 o'clock. But that didn't really work, and that was just me being silly, like. But now, since I've come home, I've kind of messaged people, got back onto them, and I'm only doing Sundays and Mondays now. So Sundays, I'm 9 to 1 o'clock in Lucan, and then I'm 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock in Nice.
And have you got any social media pages?
I do, it's on Instagram.
Yeah, shout it out there. What is it?
Instagram, RoadToGlory.
RoadToGlory. Guys, make sure you follow that.
Please,
yeah, share it as well.
It's not on Facebook. Just, TikTok as well, it's the same.
RoadToGlory.
RoadToGlory, yeah. So, but it's
definitely...
you a
follow there. Never seen it, so
alright.
That's...
Most people probably haven't yet, so...
But look, that's every little helps, you know what I mean?
That's it, like, but it's definitely kicked on, like, I mean, obviously... The beauty of coaching is, especially when you run it, like, you know yourself, you do your hours when you want to do your hours, and that's how it works. Like, but I did work with, and it's how I actually got into it was because I was in TY and I actually was doing this particular thing with a fella called Neil Fenn and Pat the Pro.
Neil Fenn, yeah.
So I used to do, I know him years, like since I'm probably 10, doing like one-on-one just for strikers was his originally thing. So that's how I went there. Kind of then just grew a relationship with him, and then I spoke to him in TY and asked him, look, can I get a part-time job? I said, just coaching. And he said, yeah, no worries, and you come. And I kind of just fell in love with it then, just doing it from there. But obviously I found it a little bit difficult at the time because I was full-time. So I kind of felt like I had no days to myself, or I was doing that as well. So,
which is important.
Yeah, like, so I need to have my time as well, but I didn't actually end up doing anything then. I kind of left then after that a little bit. Kind of said, you know, I'm going to try and go out on my own here and try and do the hours that suit me and the days that suit me. And to be fair, like, between the months of November, October was slow, November picked up, December, and then obviously now I'm like fly out, like, so it's definitely building, to be fair to it, like, so.
Yeah, brilliant. You might collaborate or do something down the line as well. I'd be happy to help you out in any way, and likewise, you know, we're not experts just because we're doing it longer, doesn't mean. I'm sure I could learn a lot from you as well. What do you kind of do, or what advice would you have for younger players to kind of enhance your performance, or whether that's down to, you know, I know the likes of Ryan Giggs and stuff, you've done a lot of yoga and stuff. Is there anything that kind of you do, even if it's superstitious or whatever, that kind of helps you in any way?
No, I think, like, obviously everybody is different. Everybody tries to do different things, whether it's, for me, left shin guard, right shin guard, always left boot, right boot, like, that's just stuff that I do before games.
So you always put the left on first?
Always do. I'm left-footed, left-handed, like, I just think maybe that's just natural, like, so I always do that. I always kind of do that, to be fair, like, and I'll always, if we get to a game, most lads would kind of just sit around and chat, and I'd kind of like sit there and I'd get ready like straight away. I'd just put socks, shorts, leave my shin guards off, boots, and I kind of sit there like maybe like 6:20. We arrived at 6 o'clock, the team chat is just done, And lads are looking at me going like, what's wrong with you? Like,
You're all right
you're not going out for an hour.
Eager
Like.
beaver.
So that's just kind of something that I do, but like training outside I think is important. Like I mean, I go to the Astro on the off days, like I do gym most days, like but superstitions other than the left shin guard, right shin guard, but I just definitely think going out training as much as you can. Now obviously don't overdo it because too much is always can be a killer, and maybe too less. So you need to kind of find that balance of in between and how it's going to help you as a person and as a footballer. But personally, for me, I definitely think like you need to train as much as you can when you can, but don't overdo it.
Nice, I like that. Love that. Advice for the younger generation that wants to be a future Kyle Robinson or a future pro player, and then advice for your younger self then as well.
For others, I would say stay off social media.
Right,
I kind of said that one. Right.
No to the blue ticks.
Yeah, no.
We're cancelling them.
No chance. But no, I definitely think like for younger people growing up, I think it's important that like your personal life and your football life is separate.
Right.
Because I think like now that obviously is probably only for a specific age, so they can't like collide. Because I think if they collide, then there'll be problems here, there, everywhere, and you'll be figuring out then like, oh, I've no plan. And I think definitely for younger kids coming through the generations, a plan is so important. Like for me, I've always had a plan. I've never looked at another job. I've never looked at an apprentice. I've never looked at anything. It was always just football, and I was just always driven by that. And I think like for me personally, it would probably change. Like maybe me younger, I probably would have maybe tried to do things differently in certain clubs on a personal note, and like maybe stayed somewhere where instead of kind of leaving, like again as I said, like I would have loved to stay in Drogheda. Part of me thinks I probably should have stayed at Drogheda, and then part of me is like, well, you kind of had to take that step. If you end up back there, great, and if you end up going forward again, it's no problem. Like that's where I'm at the moment. It's just one of them where you're in the middle. It's like I'm out of control what happens to my career next. That's up to.
Well, yeah, we say that with like no risk, no glory.
Well, that's it.
Because it took, when I started, I was juggling this with a full-time job, and like sitting at a desk and loads of people going in sessions, and I was like, come and work here till 6:30. I can't, and like getting hounded, and then all of a sudden you're just going right, dropping that. But I find similarities even between me and you is just a plan and just go. Do you know what I mean? You have to be all in, because if you're juggling, if you're going like say, oh well, I'll throw 60% into football and I'll go 40% into, I don't know, getting a job as an apprentice, doing whatever. You know, which one is coming out on top?
Like there's only one for me. I'd even think if you're 99% football and 1%, like that 1% is gonna kill you if you don't do it. Because you just have to drive. Like I found it even with school. Now granted I didn't like school. So I'd say that. No, I'd say that no problem. Like, but even with me in school when I was at Pats at a young age, I was leaving school, not going in on Thursdays, some days leaving schools on a Wednesday because Pats had given me the green light. The school were quite lenient, to be fair to it. And they kind of just said to me, look, listen, you catch up on the walk. And I was just kind of like, yeah, sure, I'll catch up on the walk, no worries, wasn't doing that. So I found that difficult, like, you know, missing school, then you're missing out on stuff that might happen in school and you're going training. But in school especially, I never look back on people say, oh, school is the best days of your life and stuff. But for me, it's like, no. In school, it's a plan, you're 9 to 3, but it's like, you want to be 9 to 3 now. You want to be 9 to 3 doing whatever you want to do. I'm not doing that, like, but the school, to be fair to them, were quite good. Like, there was a good few footballers like in there who are strong. Like obviously you've got like
what school was that, sorry?
CBS Lucan.
Oh, okay, very good, yeah.
So they were like Adam Wales.
Yes.
Obviously, I think he's with UCD now. So me, you've got he doesn't play anymore. Like Jamie Callahan, James Harold, just players like that. But like our whole team at one stage in TY was just League of Ireland.
Right.
The 11 of us. So we go and smoke players. Like I had something like nuts. I think it was like 42 goals in like in 17 games or something. Like it was just ridiculous. Like winning All Irelands comfortably, just doing silly stuff. Like, and I think like people say, like especially school football, people say it's not important, but I think it's huge. Like I think I got a lot of my international breaks
from that.
From school
'Cause
games.
they do that, don't they? Like the
They had
Leinster
the
skills.
Leinster
and
skills.
FAI
So I got into the Leinster skills with Ian Ryan, hence why then we had such a good relationship at Wexford. And even now, but I mean, I got there, I done well in there, and then obviously the only regret I have, and it's out of my hands, was COVID, because in the January, from the October to December, the Ireland under 18 skills was kind of like doing like games and assessments and stuff like that, and we played Australia, and I got picked for the squad, and I was thinking like, this is great, because this was the squad then to go in January and play against in the Shield against England, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales in St George's Park. And I was thinking like, this is amazing. I got picked for the squad, happy days. So we was just sitting there in home farm, and he was naming the squad on the board, and I had C. I was thinking like, am I starting? What's going on? And I ended up starting, and I had C beside me name. So I was kind of thinking like, what's that? I didn't even think, I just see my name, happy days. I was like, yeah, you're going to captain the tournament like for next year. And
Brilliant.
I was thinking, this is unbelievable. Like, and obviously that day was amazing. Like, you know, captain in Ireland. I know it was only the skills team, but obviously doing that.
Not many people can say that.
And
I've never done it.
And it was off the back of like the year before that, then obviously on standby for the Euros. That was a killer. And then obviously that was a bit of a positive. And then COVID came then, just kind of kicked up everything and just kind of messed it up on me really.
For a lot of people though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
COVID was
everybody.
mental.
I think it was.
think we'll finish up. Last one I want you to give to the viewers and listeners. Sell Kyle Robinson as a player.
I could be here about now. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. Now I'm quick, like, strong, fast. Naturally, I'm just a goal scorer. I think just out of everything, like I think most people who you talk to would say just scores goals. Now there's obviously parts of my game that I need to work on. Everybody does, and I've been saying it since I'm 12. Ball to feet. Need to get better at sticking the ball. But like, other than that, just score goals. Like, and I'll give it everything. Like, regardless whether it's a tap in or the goal against UCD, the volley. Like, regardless of what it is, it would just be
that goal actually.
It would just be like, has to be 100 miles an hour. Celebrate it like it's your last, and that's like, I just score goals, and it's best feeling in the world.
Brilliant, Kyle. I have to say, not even saying it, one of my favourite ones. Not even joking.
Appreciate it.
Really enjoyed it. Spoke very well. Guys, that's a wrap. Episode 12. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch us on the next one.